We spent 6 weeks in Europe, and it was really fantastic. We had just put the record out, and really quickly we saw people kind of jump on the bandwagon. It was really fun. So I'm lucky enough that I've gotten to be there a lot. I've been there many times and have had the opportunity to hit all the museums. However, this is the first time I've had any days off in Amsterdam, and there's some great museums there, so that was fun. So, and actually, as we've toured, we've made friends in different cities, and that makes it sort of more like living there and being there than just visiting and getting a feel for the fad restaurants. This is Scout, the dog, and yeah, he goes on the road. He'll be leaving in a week. He'll be opening in Austin next week. Scout, do a trick. Do a trick. Wag your tail. One of the things about this tour that I'm really looking forward to is that this music's been so much more fun to play than my last record. Not to say that that record wasn't full of music that I was, really close to and felt, it ever evolved for me as far as which songs were my favorites. It just wasn't as much fun to play as this music is, and this band is really great, and for that reason I can't wait. So, yeah, this experience of putting this band together was different than my last experience, because my last experience was all sort of, it seemed so like I was encroaching upon a really professional sort of situation, and this time it feels like an old shoot. I have a bunch of guys I really enjoy playing with, and it gives me the freedom to not only be the leader, but to step back and let people, let people share the energy of sort of stepping out front and stuff, and that's really emancipating in some ways. Well, the guitar player who worked with me a lot on the record, who I used a lot on the record, is Jeff Trott. He used to be in World Party and Wire Train, and he's out. So it's fun for us because we have all the memories of sort of, working in the studio and creating. I have a really young drummer who's young and impressionable and malleable and can be mistreated really easily. That's a small joke, but it's fun to play with him. He's really great drummer, lots of different styles, and really propels it. And then I've got a couple of guys from last time, so more seasoned, more guitars, there's more layering on stage this time. We have the opportunity to have a guitar player and a pedal steel player and a mandolin player all going at the same time if we want. And everybody plays different things, and that keeps it interesting. I want to play harmonica. That's what I'm working on next. My manager has me listening to Little Walter. Yeah. It's sort of about adopting the freedom of music making, and that was one thing when I went in to make this record that was intimidating in the beginning, because there's so many different alternatives and so many different avenues when you're looking at a blank reel of tape. But once you get over the intimidation of that, it was really fun. And there really aren't that definable lines between writing and recording and producing and performing. It's all sort of expression, and trying to get the best and the most instinctual expression on tape, I think, is when you've made a good record. Yeah, I think anybody who's been to New Orleans knows that if you're really open to the influences and to the undercurrents and the vibes, that it can be very inspiring. And I went down there wanting to soak some of that in and wanting to really wrestle my earliest influences onto this record, which was influences out of the Delta. Every song on the record is really about the same thing. In one way or another, it's about somebody trying to figure out how to formulate an identity and not be influenced by the way the world is, and what's popular and what is acceptable and what is seemingly attractive, and sticking to your guns and finding your vision. And that, I guess, really is what seems like every song is about that. So it's sort of a one-trick pony album. Every character is the same character. Well, Every Day is a Winding Road actually came from having worked on the road with another band, and their drummer was getting ready to leave, and And the thing that always fascinated me about this guy was that he was always so in the moment. And whatever he experienced it deeply. And I just looked at that and thought, wow, it's so admirable, as painful as that might be. That's an admirable quality. Anyway, I ran into him, and he'd had a baby, and I said, well, what'd you name her? And he said, I named her Sunday. And I said, really? Was she born on a Sunday? And he said, no, she was born on a Friday. And I just thought, well, okay. And I went home and I wrote the lyric for this song, and it wound up being about somebody's travel through their life and being picked up by someone who was kind of the antithesis of them, and looking at it and thinking, maybe that's the way to approach life, you know, without trying to miss out on your life, trying to acknowledge it while you're in it, and looking at every moment and not thinking I'll deal with it later, or if I could just get to this point, or, you know, and that's what inspired the song. If it makes you happy is kind of all-encompassing, you know. It also deals with being in the moment and trying to find some happiness, but that to me, that song is sort of about self-analysis, and it's really so popular now to be negative and to be sort of apathetic, and it's just about, you know, making a conscious decision to be in it, you know, and to be happy with what you have. I'm amazed. Every once in a while I'll wake up and just be completely amazed that my life's job is to go out and play in different countries, and it's pretty humbling and really a nice way to make a living, and I really love that.